push. Just a little bit of that trailing leg kind of caught him.
Bit of space in the midfield for the Pharaohs. Well, dispossessed. That was perfectly timed to just knock the ball away from Mo Salah, picked up by Atia. Into the middle, Fati, nicely done over to the right-hand side. Mo Salah, oh, he's threaded through, that's nicely done. Good option, and he's trying to get his ball across. And again, you can just see how well organised and how connected they are at the back, because I think it's Oletan who comes back and does the business.
Yeah, great defensive organisation. Internal distances between the back four are very small, leaving a little bit of margins, no room for mistakes from the Egyptians at all.
And everybody's working for each other, and that's what you can take from this Benin squad. Nearly 10 minutes in, it's Egypt with a corner. It comes across, it's a chance for a shot! Oh! What a block! How it didn't go in! That is sensational from Danjanu. Denied. Point blank range, just look at that. That was the shot. Wow, sensational. And that should have been delivered. Rabiot was the player who got across. Comes off the defender as well. So Roche and Danjanu coming to the rescue.
Yeah, Danjanu, the goalkeeper, once again being brave.
Corner to follow. Remarkable.
I wonder if it is that there was no handball in that situation. I thought Toru, who was the last person on the line, must have got a touch that deflected the ball so heavily.
Yeah, I think the referee's okay with Tamimu Uraru. There's the corner that follows from Almou's front post. And no one there besides cheaters, and we know what cheaters can do. And they've won the ball. This is nicely done. Lovely touch over on that left-hand side. Threads it through, picked up by Doku. And good, strong defensive work by Hani over on that far side just to bring an end to that. Comes out to Marmoush. It's starting to... The electricity is... I can feel it now, Amanda. It's being picked up by Marmoush. Oh, he can't thread the ball through. I think there was... the arms are thrown up in the air by Marmoush, saying, Trezeguet, you should have come across and just made that touch and left it in my path so that I could follow up and, you know, maybe get a shot in. Miscommunication. And now Trezeguet's down on the ground as the ball's been picked up by Yasser and kicked away by El Shenawi. Is this this is an injury, I think. He's holding his ankle, Trezeguet. And again, he's taken his whole shin guard off and his sock. Now let's have a look at this again. The corner's whipped in. Little bit of a touch there from Fati. Look at Rabia, the goalkeeper does a brilliant job. We can see this from close range. That's the touch off the arm. It's the upper arm. It really is of Uru. And that's why the Egyptians, and especially that man, Rami Rabia, was calling for handball. But it didn't stop that man, Danjanu, from celebrating what was a perfect way to prevent that ball from flying past him and into the back of the net. Zizou about to come on, and Imam Ashur, but logically Zizou for Trezeguet. And what do? Do they put Adel more over on that left-hand side? Oh, we got Ashur. So maybe Trezeguet is definitely going to make way. Adel will go up to that left side. Fati will move across. Unless he gets, well, he's going to stay. Maybe Atia will be the player that's going to be replaced by Ashur. I don't know. We'll get to see now. Trezeguet for sure. He's walking off, which is great news. Hobbling, but not in a great state. Former Aston Villa 31 player, 31 years of age. 58 matches for Egypt. Now, well, there's Adel who's actually coming off for Zizou. Okay, and Ashur comes on for Trezeguet then. Well, these are players who can shake things up. big fan of Ashore. He's had his fair share of injuries, not really able to play 90 minutes, but what he does in the midfield is incredible. He makes space. He's a creative player who can really produce wonderful passes as well. And Zizou, crosser of the ball, and his dribbling skills, I mean, you know, they're off the charts. Flag goes up for an offside on Zizou. Time to deliver. Time for Egypt to try and stand up and make their mark. But they're coming up against a very resilient Benin. Finished third in their group, of course. They lost to DRC in their opener. Beat Botswana for their first ever win at AFCON. 16 games winless, came to an end, and then that 3-0 loss against Senegal. The Lions of Teranga, who roared into the knockout stages very comfortably before beating Sudan 3-1 in their round of 16 clash. But Benin, not dark horses, but dark cheaters, in fact, I think, you know, just in the way that they've managed to sculpt and create their own path towards the knockout stages, and they're holding Egypt with 30 minutes left to play.
Yeah, and I guess it's really about not showing, you know, that respect to the opposition and really going toe-to-toe. They're very well organized in terms of their structure, and they've really kept things very clean, basic, and really trying to catch them on the break.
Yeah, it's been a very mature match that they played so far. Ball just coming off the foot and going out for Uaru. And it will be Fatou who will take this. But if Egypt do go through, they'll be concerned about the injuries that they picked up. Fatou, of course, that's the end of his campaign with that patella dislocation, potentially. Which is nasty. It's a very nasty injury. And then, of course, we saw that Trezeguet is not 100% either with that injury. They're unable to do anything in the midfield on that occasion. Key players for Hossam Hassan. High ball going up, dealt with by Rabia. There's Ashore with his first touch. A little bit of heavy presence there from Imran Hassan in the back on Ashore. Over to the right-hand side it goes, Yasser. Hani trying to work his magic. And that's what I like about Zizou. You'll find him on the one side, then all of a sudden you look across to the wonderful high Atlas Mountains that are just in the shadow of the stadium, and you look back and he's on the other side of the pitch. That's exactly what Zizou does. Former Zamalek star, now playing for Al Ahly. Two of the biggest teams in the Egyptian Premier League. Through ball, perfectly dosed. There's Mo Salah! Mo Salah tries to use that left foot to lob Danjanu. But again, you could just see that he's done a brilliant job at the back, hasn't he? The Benin goalkeeper read it perfectly. Doesn't get shoved off the ball as well by Tiljani.
Great pass from Zizou, really, to try and look for those spaces in behind. A nice dink over the top of the back four. Of course, Mo Salah really tried to toe poke that, but for me, it is his movement. Dodging the defender, dropping a little bit deep, and then creating that space behind for himself.
Benin on the attack and attempted a little 1-2. It's Hani who comes back, gets the ball to Fati. Ashore picks it up in the midfield, dispossessed. Benin on the attack all of a sudden. Well, it's a overzealous attempt to try and get that ball to feet. It does well to get the cross coming over. Communication tells the Yasser that he just heads the ball away. Unmarked, no Benin players in a dangerous position there, but the press is working well as it's picked up by Uaru. There's the through ball! Al Benin with a chance for a shot! El Shenawi comes to the rescue. Danger there once again. But so dangerous in the final third. That's a couple of opportunities, that is, and El Shenoui goes down. Surely not another Egyptian player. Well, you know, there's something to be said about resting 11 players during a tournament, maybe. Let's have a look at this again. That was the through ball. That was just top quality to Dessou. And Dessou races onto that because the timing is delightful behind Rabia. He just kicked off his thighs, basically.
Yep, could have caught him in the midriff area, that is El Shenoui. But you have to applaud all-round great football from Benin. A deep searching pass from Marura, coming from that midfield, splitting that defense, trying to really open up the Egyptian back four.
73rd match for Mohamed El Shenoui at 37 years of age. And of course we got to see Afa Shobia, the other Ahli player, get play 90 minutes against Angola in that goalless draw. Shenoui's back on his feet. Talk about Egyptian giants. El Hadari, of course, is you know, an iconic Egyptian goalkeeper and part of the wonderful team that managed to win all of those three back-to-back AFCONs, back-to-back-to-back. The only nation to have won 3 in a row between 2006, 2008, 2010, under Hassan Shahata, the legendary. Benin feeling more confident,
yeah,
looking more confident, and feeling as though this is part of the game plan. With 25 minutes left to go, they're looking, you know, as if they want to take a few more risks because they got nothing to lose.
Yep, nothing to lose at all. The pressure much more on the Egyptians. They really want to stamp their authority, to dictate terms in the second half. But of course, it's still that defensive organization from Benin sitting very low in their block and just giving no room whatsoever.
As Olivier Verdon just taking out Marmouche. And the reaction from Hossam Hassan. Ball comes out to the left-hand side. Fatou with a little bit of support, but the flag goes up for offside. A little mistake that's just seeping into their game. They have to show the confidence of being 7-time winners, but there again, they haven't managed to, you know, to deliver those, you know, results sometimes in the past few years, and they doubt themselves in certain situations, especially when they're not in control of a game, and just feel as though it's slipping away from the Pharaohs' grasp.
No, absolutely, and I mean, if you have a playmaker like Zizou introduced in the second half, surely you have to, all the players, it's alerts, it's alarm bells that they need to make those runs forward so that they give the ball carrier options.
Well, there's a very blatant handball offence there from Dessou. He knows it. I think the linesman was probably about a metre away from him, so couldn't have thought that he would get away with it. Midway through the second half, everything teed up so far for extra time and penalties, I suppose. I mean, I don't want to say it, but it might just happen.
Yeah.
Just with the number of shots that we've had on target, shots in total, it's been very limited. Egypt on the attack. Ashore, lovely touch, gets past his man, Verdon. Oh, the cover from Ceci Almeida was top quality, and they get a corner from this.
Almeida reads the situation very well. The amount of ground that he had to cover to provide that defensive cover on the back four, certainly something to admire.
Now, Zizou has that right foot, and he knows how to get the ball over that. Marmouche front post goes high over the top. It's a downward header and a clearance. Mohamed Hani knocks the ball back. It's been picked up here by Shaw, capable of playing in a more of a midfield defensive role, although you want to really see him provide some creative work in a more attacking position, because he can, but he needs to find a bit more confidence on the pitch as well because of the lack of time that he's had. There's Hani working with Salah. Salah gets the return pass. Is he going to get past his man? Hani gets it back. Anybody there? It's followed up. There's the shot. Look at it! Atia gets the goal. It's a stunner. A stunner in Agadir from Atia. And finally a goal has been scored in this round of 16 showdown. And maybe against the grain, but a brilliant goal from Marwan Atia. Right place, right time, first touch, drilled into the corner to deliver against Danjanu.
Yep, the build-up to this goal is something to marvel. Great composure in terms of the build-up. A quick 1-2 between Mo Salah as well. The third man running. These are the options in and around the ball carrier. Calmly tucked away into the top corner.
As cool as you like. The outstretched fingertips of Danjanu just couldn't quite get there. But that was spectacular. That's a strike of the highest order. And that has now sent the Pharaohs marching off, hoping, believing that they can move forward. But it's not over yet, believe you me.
It's not over yet, but this is the Egypt team we expected to see in the second half. Playmakers in Ashura, Zizou being introduced in that midfield. Lots of movement, lots of rotation, and much more involvement for players like Mohamed Salah.
Lovely work down the right side. Got to give them full credit. But Marwan Atia, 69. That minute will mean the world to Egypt. And look at this. This is great work. Even Mo Salah coming back to defend and just getting in the way of Junior Olitan. They must be a little bit deflated, Benin, because the Cheetahs have really played well against the most successful nation in Africa. But another through ball, and Marmoush, there's the header. Can he get hold of the ball? He gets knocked out. It's going to be a corner. The Manchester City man putting and applying plenty of pressure on Mohamed Chiljani.
Yeah, and the issue now for Benin, yes, you can defend, keep those blocks tight, but you have to have an alternative, an outlet in terms of making those inroads in the final third, creating goal-scoring opportunities.
They get the ball back. They mount their challenge once again. The right side, the delivery, far post. It just goes a little bit too close to Danjanu, who comes to the rescue. And a race upfield here, and an attempted through ball. Danger lurking, but El Shenawi deals with it. Nice through ball, a little bit overcooked, slightly overcooked. But Verdon looking for Doku. And you just can't drop your guard for a single second against Benin.
Yeah, Dosu has shown signs of how quick he is in that 18-yard box. Aloku as well has shown signs with those long strides on the right. So Egypt really need to make sure their defensive lines are tight.
It happens all so quickly. We've seen it before. We've seen strikes happen. And we'll see them again over the course of the next couple of weeks. Oh, it's wonderful work. Look at the battling. Just unable to just carry the ball forward there, Salah. And it's been blocked. There will be a corner. Great work. And you do have to give credit to Tamimu Uru.
Yeah.
Solid as can be. And just standing solid in his position, but dealing with Fatu and winning the corner. This will give them a little bit of hope.
Yep, and that's what they need. Uru with an engine of note, running up and down the line, defensive work and joining in the attack.
Verdon comes up. They've stockpiled the penalty box, hungry to try and connect. And the referee, Pieraccio, is saying, no nonsense, please. As Gernot Rohr waits on eagerly to see if they can react immediately after that goal from Atia, the wonder strike. Atia of Alexandria. The bus queue about to disperse, and and Splinter. The delivery comes in, front post, headed away, and Salah gets a touch. Watch out, he can race onto that. That's good pressure, that is, from Marmoush, but there's Pinta. Danger, Oletan, down to the right-hand side. There's the ball that comes across. Aloko drives it into Rabiot, who does the business at the back.
Yeah, it's a wave of attack after one another. Defense splitting passes, movements from Aloko, really complementing all the hard work that midfielders like Oletan are doing.
Another chance, and another delivery comes. Front post again. That's Salah with a deft touch. Nicely done. Ashore picks it up. He can go on a bit of a wander. He kicks it upfield, and there's no one really there. Well, when you go in on transition play, you really want to just understand who's where and where it's going to go. Not just like smash it upfield, but it will give the defenders a bit of a breather.
Yeah, no, certainly. But Mamouche and Mo Salah just running into each other's space, whereas Mohamed Salah is usually on the right and Mamouche needs to come out and be an outlet on the left.
Options, it's all about options and movement off the ball. Picks up at the back. Wawanati's goal in the 69th minute has given the Pharaohs the advantage. Still a lot of football to be played, but 15 minutes might seem a long time. But if you clock watch, then I think that you'll realise that it goes quite quickly. And all of a sudden, you are a little bit concerned about what you can do in the small amount of time that's left. And Egypt know how to hold results. It looked like it was handball, but not the case. Dossou. Good work there to just retrieve possession, keep it safe with Johan Roche and Verdon combining. Some good running lines over to the right-hand side. He goes Fatou trying to get there first. That's a good header, that really is. Now Benin dispossessed. Fatou picks it up. And this time he has possession. He doesn't get rid of it. It's been picked up by Uru. Uru squares it. Trying to push the ball through to Doku. Doesn't find its way. Ashore, it's a long ball. Marmoush picks it up on the left-hand side. It's gone a little bit too quick and fast for him to retrieve. Otherwise, you know that would have spelt out danger. Now, a change. Tessalimi is going to come on. He's going to replace Doku.
Substitution for Benin. Play number 19 is replaced by play number 25.
And Ceci Dalmeida is also going to make way. They don't have many options now. They have to really push forward. And coming on to replace Samadou Atijiku, the Smuhar SC player, 21 years of age. Long, nice control there. Wonderful stuff from Aloko. Aloko looking for the 1-2. It happens perfectly. Uru. And drilled into the stands. Sterling work from Fatou to just get there first.
Ladies and gentlemen, attendance for today's match is 3,191. السيدات والسادة، الحضور الرسمي لمباراة اليوم 20,191 متفرجا.
Zizou working his magic down the left-hand side. He'll win the throw-in. It's what he does as well. He just, he has the ability to just keep the ball very much glued at his foot.
So impressive, just in which the body positioning as well, the way he turns to open up for the ball to just make sure that it falls on his path.
Goal scorer Atia. Fatou picks it up. Zizou looks for the 1-2, decides to go against the grain and pick up Ashur on the midfield. Over to the right-hand side, there's danger here. They like to build and construct on both sides of the pitch, of course, these Pharaohs, as they try and build a new dynasty. At the back it goes, picking up the ball, looking to try and... Oh, dispossessed! Well, that was very, very dangerous. Yellow card offence as well for Fatty. And very lucky indeed. What about that for a pass? You cannot make those kinds of passes. And they're quick. Benin are very quick. Look at that. Read the ball, communicate better, and you won't have that happen.
Yeah, those are the basics that any coach can tell you. Never play a square ball in those areas, especially for defenders with oncoming attackers like Olitan. Could have stolen it, pickpocket you in that midfield, and that could be danger.
We talk about hospital passes. We've seen enough injuries today, but that you've just got to avoid. You know, and there's and it's sometimes, you know, it comes down to fatigue, but there's other times where you're just not vigilant and diligent enough to actually understand that split second can change everything.
Yep.
And that would have been a goal if, you know, they'd have managed to find their way through. Well, the flag went up for the infringement, and then afterwards the linesman put it straight back down and allowed the play on. But it's not up to him to make that call. Cannot roar. Watches on, continues to observe. Player down for Benin. And let's have a look at this again. It's kind of like a 50-50 challenge. I don't know what the flag was flapped, but it doesn't matter. Oh, that could have been really nasty there with the leg that got caught behind his body. Look, watch. And that was the another challenge that took place just afterwards. Here we go, corner. Moving on. Dangerous times. Junior Oletan with the delivery, with that right foot, goes in, headed away at the front post once again. It just falls on the edge of the penalty box, tidied up there, and a chance for them to get it back in. Far post! Comes to the rescue. Is that man Fatu? Brilliant work. They want to get this ball rolling quickly. Take the corner as quickly as possible, Amanda.
Yep. Just to really unsettle that defense. Thought El Shenawi could have come out.
There's the delivery. Another one coming in. Far post! And a chance for a shot. Oh, he's just unable to pull the trigger and unleash that beast of a shot that everybody was waiting with bated breath. Doesn't happen. Scuffed and fluffed. 10 minutes to go. Possession-wise, you can see that it's still Egypt who are slightly bossing this occasion, but I think that when you actually look at what's happening on the pitch, Benin are most definitely in a very good position. Now, a bit of illegal contact there or not from that man Roche?
Yeah, Benin just really trying to pile on the pressure, taking the advantage. Roche, just a judge to be pulling those shirt pullings and shirt tagging as well. At a good moment for the likes of Ashore, bringing in the experience of cup competition, the cup pedigree, just to break the momentum a little bit for Benin.
He wasn't asking him for a dance, Amanda.
Not yet.
Not yet. The twist of the body, he goes down, and of course, Mashur making the most of that, making a bit of a meal out of it, to be honest with you. Back up on his feet we go again. We don't want any nonsense. We want to see some, football here tonight. And we got 9 minutes, and Benin are really, highly charged and ready to react whenever they get any kind of an opportunity. They will take it. You can see that. You can feel it. It's in the air as they give the ball away once again. They pick the ball up. That's a wonderful chance for a shot there, but it's Aloka who gets the ball out to that man, Dawson! Oh, it's gone in! They got the equalizer! It came from the right! Dawson! Unbelievable! The scenes here in Agadir! Unbelievable scenario! They've got the equalizer. Wow. You've got to take advantage of whatever you possibly can. El Shenawi looks across, the defense look across, but Benin, the cheaters, have got themselves an equalizer. Dosu is just absolutely bouncing. Let's have a look at this again. El Shenawi gives the ball away. They pick it back up. That was the opportunity. Comes out to the right-hand side. And there's the delivery. Takes that deflection. Great save from El Shenawi, but the follow-up from Dosu. Right place, right time. Look at that. That's a brilliant save. You've got to give credit to El Shenawi. But look where it falls. No one's going to get there before a Benin player. And Dosu delivers at the perfect time. Stunning. Incredible. Jodel Dosu delivers.
Yep, delivers right on time. This is sheer determination from Benin. Wave after wave of attack, making sure that they keep the ball alive. But a costly defensive error from El Shenawi with his kind of experience. A poor clearance that Benin certainly took advantage of.
You know, Shabir got the run out against Angola. And of course, the son of an Egyptian great who played at the 1990 World Cup, of course. They get the ball back. Mohamed Salah tees it up. Stop coming in. It's driven high by Ashur. Doesn't get the right angle. Just a little bit leaning back. Driven forward, but high. This is just pulsating action here now. Now we've got a game on our hands, Amanda. Now we can start to get that excitement piped into the right places.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
I mean, what a scenario. What an incredible scenario. Dosu, the 33-year-old, getting his 11th goal in 67 matches played. The former Clermont-Toulon Club African player in Tunisia as well, with such an important goal. And of course, what happened in 2019 when they managed to get through out of the group stage without winning, of course, then they played Morocco. Got to be careful at the back. Rabia giving the ball away. He's come from an offside position. No, he hasn't. The linesman's okay. They played out a 1-0 draw with Morocco. It went to extra time and penalties. And of course, what happened? They managed to beat Morocco on penalties, and they went through to the quarterfinals for the very first time.
Yep, it's all about taking your chances. They're applying the good pressure, making sure that they're pressing the opposition quite high, and they've really salvaged an opportunity with the defensive error.
But El Shenawi, well, there'll be questions about where that ball was kicked from the back in the first place. Can't make mistakes like that. Zizou, the delivery is perfect into his path. He loves these scenarios. He wins a corner. No, goal kick. Gets knocked back off him. Arms up in the air. Verdon comes out trumps. And that is the right call.
Yep, the referee has just been exceptional this evening.
We do go to extra time. We do go to penalties if necessary. I'm just, throwing it out there, Amanda, because I know that, we're going to be going through this whole journey together.
Yeah, we're thoroughly entertained, and that's where both coaches are going to start tapping into that squad depth and the legs to really go much more harder.
A flailing arm that hit Ashur. The through ball goes again, and Benin on the attack, pushing forward. Ooh, well, you could just see that there was Tessalimi working really, really hard to try and get there first. Ashur's down on the ground, still looking up to try and get the attention of the referee. There was a little bit of contact in the face, I think. There you go. That was what we saw. That was what happened. And Atijiku. And that was solid work at the back by Ahmed Yasser. He is not allowing anybody to get past him. On the attack, Ahmed Hani gets sussed out by Imran Hassan, the Grasshoppers winger. Marmouche into the path of Fati. Fati to Ashur. Ashur, the threaded through ball to Fatu doesn't happen. Fati, Rabia, forced to race back and keep that ball on the right side of the line. Less than 2 minutes to go here before we have I think there's going to be a whole horde of minutes added on at the end because of the injuries that we had. Good through ball. This is nicely done. It's been picked up. Mo Salah. Mo Salah. Oh, it's a great save from the goalkeeper. And Salah was staring at his third goal in this competition, but denied by Danjanu. Just opened up and, and fired in with that left foot, but it was just easily dealt with. There was nothing too dangerous in terms of, what the goalkeeper had to do, really.
Yeah, and I think, how many times have we seen Mo Salah coming out for Liverpool, finding himself in those positions? He usually wants to go on the roof of the net, or maybe play a cut back to a Mamouche.
As the Benin subs just delightfully celebrate another small victory in a very big battle against giants of Africa. Zizou goes back to Atia, the goal scorer. Shaw's calling for it. He was left on his own. He should have got a ball earlier, rightfully so. Picked up by Fatou. Shaw, player down. And are they going to kick the ball out? And Shaw. Well, they're taking this quickly. There's cramp, and the referee not happy with the throw-in being taken. And Dossou and Shaw, a little clash. There you go, a sign of experience with Imran Hassan. He's only 22 years of age, but he comes over and takes away Dossou. I like that. You know, when the youngsters do that, it basically tells us that the future is bright. Get out of there. Don't get involved. There's no need.
Yep, get out of there. Great emotional intelligence. Just a high-pressured situation at the moment, but Dossou as well. No business in the technical area of the Egyptians. No business touching the referee as well. The coach, excuse me.
Well, this is the wonderful work here, and the goal scored by Moan Atia. Look at that, the ball comes back, edge of the penalty box. His body position when he made contact with the ball was just sublime. You know, he goes into it, and it's just driven in perfectly. That was the deflection. Look at this save from El Shenawi. He couldn't really do more than that, because he's going backwards. All he could hope for was that his defenders were back there before Dossou got there first, which wasn't the case.
Yep.
Again at Roy, he's not dancing and putting his legs up in the air, you know, like he was in the first half. He's calmly saying, we can possibly do this. We still got to believe.
Yeah, sheer determination from Dossou. Had only one thing in mind, to make sure that ball lands in the back of the net. But they have a seasoned campaign, an experienced coach on the bench, who I think knows how to go about AFCON. He really knows how to go about AFCON, and of course, the Egyptians' defense has really been susceptible to those errors.
Well, a tactical battle taking place now, and another change as we get to see Romaric Amusu, the Asik Mimosas player, who's going to come on and logically just replace Rodolfo Aloko. It's been brilliant, isn't he? Player based in Croatia, but now heading to play for Crown Legacy FC. Marmouche loses possession, hassled by 3 players. Over on that right side, Egypt go again. 7 minutes are out of time. You heard, so 5 more left to play, and then we'll go to extra time. Of course we will. That's what we expected.
Yep, this is what we expected. And now it's all just about a good balance of endurance and mental fortitude.
Oh, there's the ball that went through, and it was Mo Salah who was trying to control that. Ball going back to Arabia, comes out to the left side. Atia tries to get an angled ball up towards Marmouche. Nicely done, splendidly done. And you can just see what they're trying to do here, but Atia collecting it in the midfield. Mo Salah. Egypt are calming things down, not too panics at the moment, Ashore. There's the ball to Mo Salah, handing out to the right-hand side. Marmouche ready to go on a little bit of a wander. Benin are not jumping. They're not being triggered, are they? They're not just getting themselves out of their comfort zone. But we are keeping our eyes out for those pyramid passes as Salah goes down. out wide over on that right-hand side. Well, jogs back into position as he waits again. Now watch out for the quick acceleration, because we know what they're capable of doing, Egypt. But I think that what Egypt are trying to do is get themselves that option. They need their runners to try and just get into pockets of space. The timing is going to be essential. And of course, with Benin keen and capable of pouncing at any single moment, danger is lurking all the time. Mo Salah, delivery, comes in. There's a chance at the far post, but it just goes out away from Fatou. Otherwise, well, it could have been an Egyptian attempt to try and at least head the ball back into the penalty box, which could have been ideal.
Yep. Curling delivery from Mo Salah, trying to locate a teammate at that far post. Fatou just arriving late.
Amanda, we're just about to enter the twilight zone.
Neither here nor there.
Exactly. Extra time is lurking. 2 minutes for one of these two nations to strike and bring an end to their opponent's quest to push on through to the last 8. Or will they be joining the Eagles of Mali and all of the Lions from across Africa?
Well, I still really want that moment of a smash and grab.
Oh, you're so keen on the smash and grab. Lamassu. It's just gone out of play. Touched there by Atia. It will be Benin who have a throw-in. Had 3 substitutions, Egypt. And 3 substitutions also for Benin. Great expectations on the shoulders of all of these players in Egypt, of course, but also in Benin, a country that is full of culture. Marmouche, there's the ball that goes back to the goalkeeper. Danjanu doesn't make a mistake with his pass back to Tiljani, another player who's been rock solid at the back. I mean, honestly, they've all been playing with such dignity, with such strength and cohesion that, you know, you can't really fault. Even the goal that was scored by Atia was a pullback, and, you know, they were defending perfectly, but obviously a player running onto a ball in space, you know, is an ideal scenario, but they'd locked in that defense. Done a sterling job.
They certainly have. I think every move has been coordinated, every press has been coordinated. When they're shifting, they move like a chain reaction. Internal distance is equal. It certainly pushed Egypt all the way.
That's it. That's the end of the 90 minutes plus added time. An extraordinary scenario. A goal that really has given them life. Dossou is the man who's been on a mission, who's managed to score an equalizer that has just, well, restored parity after Mao and Atia's beautiful goal in the 69th minute. The life is back in the Cheetahs as they've just leapt back into this encounter. We're going to extra time, ladies and gentlemen, here in Agadir. Egypt 1, Benin 1. Well, such a high-octane encounter that started off in the first half where we're going, well, no one's really getting shots in. The defensive blocks are in position. Second half really started to open up a lot. We saw some great creative moves and some fast breaks, good transition, understanding between players. And finally we saw the first goal by Atia, but then they had a response, Benin, and it just shows that they're here for a reason, Amanda.
Absolutely, and I mean, kudos to the coach, the technical bench as well. He knows what AFCON is about. It's really to frustrate the opposition. First objective was to make sure that they soak the pressure, and They don't concede in the first 15 minutes of the half, and of course that would frustrate the Egyptians. They really started to dig deep. They had to dig deep, make the changes as well to try and get the synergy going. And now it's all just really about the better quality, endurance, but also taking your chances.
Yeah, it's about taking your chances, and you know, the mind games now, but you've also got fatigue, you've also got to understand, you know, strategies. What they've seen in the 90 minutes, these coaches will try and say, right, okay, we've been able to read the game to this point. Now how are we going to find solutions and break down our opponents? Because, you know, one little moment lapse in concentration and something can, you know, open up. And, you know, you can see that there's lactic acid. Everybody's getting, like, sort of, you know, some, you know, a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a stretch, trying to, you know, make sure that you don't cramp up. It's so many factors fall into, you know, the match situation now.
Yep, a lot, and hydration is going to be very key. Looking at both teams, Benin were much more in a very competitive group. They weren't allowed that much of squad rotation. Will they have the next? Will it be enough for them to really go on? But of course, for Egypt, they rested 10 of their players, have an advantage maybe of the freshness, but we've seen the freshness as opposed to sheer determination. It's all equal at the point.
And, you know, and there's also that conundrum of, oh, if we've got players who are wonderful penalty takers, but they're a little bit fatigued, do you take them off? Do you make those changes? The fact is there's 2 more players each that will enable them to, you know, fresh legs coming on during extra time or before penalties. You know, they're the questions that also got to be brought. Gerrit Rohr, he's got so much experience, you know, as a player, but also as a coach. And he'll try and bring all of that understanding of how he's, you know, works with players and teams in the past into this specific moment now. You only have a few minutes to get it right.
Yep, and I mean, the strategies from the teams that we call maybe the dark horses have been to really frustrate the team who have much more of the ascendancy and to really make sure that they get into their defensive blocks. And I mean, for Benin, they're now into extra time. They are playing on quick transitions. They've got fresh legs in terms of their attack where options are concerned. But now, for the Egyptians, no more errors at the back.
Well, you know, these fans are getting a fantastic, you know, opportunity to see exactly what it's like. You know, Africa Cup of Nations here, as we see the 2 captains, Mo Salah, Olivier Verdon, and it's the tossing of the coin with Pierre Acho to understand sort of, you know, which side you're going to play and who's going to start. This is the magic, isn't it?
It is, but look at the body language now from Verdon. He's coming much more confident when the game was starting, showed much more respect to Mohamed Salah. The body language says, we have come to compete. He looks much more comfortable, and certainly I think the confidence is much more with Benin.
Well, Egypt, of course, will be looking to try and get themselves a goal before they go to penalties. Penalties was where Benin managed to win their round of 16 clash in 2019 against Morocco. 1-1 it finished, that one, and then it was 4-1 in the penalty shootout. So there is confidence that they can pick from that. They've got, you know, they don't have Stéphane Sessignon, they don't have Otamiasi, they don't have some of the key players that they had then, but they got such a good unit and group of guys. You know, even missing their captain, Steve Mounier, it doesn't change that much. They've been brilliant, they really have. Total respect for Benin and what they've achieved already. Now, you go into uncharted territory. Now, you go in and, you know, anything could potentially happen now because you know that one goal and you're already looking at the clock to see how much time is left. But 2 halves of 15 before we go to penalties, of course, and well, Egypt have been to penalty shootouts. They won 6 and they've lost 4, but they have lost their last 2. Final against Senegal in 2021, of course. And then before that, well, just after that, in the last edition, against the DRC in the round of 16, of course, against DR Congo. So they don't want to go there, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? we're just entering that area, aren't we, where, you know, it's twilight zone.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've already seen Mali going into a penalty shootout, so Egypt really wouldn't want to be in that sort of scenario. But here's what's quite interesting about Benin. Their phrase for AFCON 2025, it's unity and belief.
That was ours, though. They took it from us, Amanda. Here we go, of course. This is extra time, first half. And Egypt, 7-time champions in possession here with Ahmed Yasser, one of many Ahli players in this squad. We're trying to find a way of responding, having seen that equaliser smashed in by Dossou from close range after a mistake made by Ahmed El Shenawi. Good work over on that far side, and a little flick that comes back and steered away by the centre-back, Tiljani. Along with Olivier Verdon, they make a very fine pairing at the back. Solid work, understanding of each other, communication. It's all brilliant stuff, what they produced tonight. And, you know, that defensive unit that they've actually implemented under Gernot Rohr has been so disciplined and so solid that, honestly, that's enough to take you and carry you forward in a competition.
Yeah, no, of course, but the way in which they set up as well, it is that midfield that worked really hard. They matched up to cut down the creativity in that engine room, making sure that it's 1v1. The Atias of this world, the Fatis, haven't really had much of room, no combinations whatsoever.
Here's the Johan Roche. Such a complicated player, isn't he, Dossou? Finally, it's Hani. A little bit of a shove there by Hani. Don't think you don't need to do that. Hani needs to be a little bit careful, of course. He's already found himself getting sent off against South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bump, but don't get up and, you know, it's okay. You know, he retaliates a little bit too much, and he just needs to, you know, be a little bit calmer.
Dossou once again retaliating as well. He just seems to be quite fired up.
Tit for tat. And it's not as if it's a big occasion, isn't it, man? There's a wonderful ball. Look at the control there. Oh, he's picked up Mo Salah. Mo Salah. He's not made the right pass back, is he, to Ashur? It's going to just sneak over the line. Away from Yasser. Picked up quickly by Benin. Happy to try and take that. I was wondering whether or not he was in two minds of going himself or getting the pass. Look. I just thought he was going to cut into the right side and go towards the byline. But you know that Roche has got long legs. He probably thought, yeah, he's quite a tall guy. I've met him a couple of times at the start of each, start of the match and at the start of extra time. His lunging legs will probably get in the way of what I'm trying to do. That's because Mo Salah is super smart.
Yeah.
Decent header in the midfield from Atajiku. Ball comes out to Mo Salah on the right side. Oh, it's a decent ball over to the left-hand side. Got a little bit too far away and from Zizou. But, you know, the cross-field pass, not a bad idea there from Salah.
But this is probably the first time we've seen the Egyptians going with that cross pass. That diagonal pass is something that usually works for them. Mo Salah is usually isolated to do or go on the 1v1 situations with the defenders. The combination plays much more on the left, and that's to try and draw the opposition in one side and a quick change to really catch them off guard.
We saw that reverse pass in the first half, which was just sublime. You know that he's capable of, providing us with some of the fabulous passing and sneaky moves that he's got in his box set that everybody is very much aware of. As Benin on the attack has been picked up, first time effort there. There was attempted drill from Tessalimi, still in possession. No foul calls, says Pierre Achon, the Acho, the referee. Collected by Zizou on the left side. He's got an overlap. And the ball comes across. A little touch there from Marmouche. Doesn't manage to find a teammate, and it's kicked away. Egypt still in possession. Back into the middle. There's another drill ball. That's straight over towards Salah, a little bit high for the Liverpool man to latch onto. Great idea. Hani on Oletan.
That body check.
Sure.
Very suspicious.
Shaw goes down. It's going to be a free kick for Egypt. There you go. 75 attacks to 58 for Benin. Those are pretty good numbers. 2 goals. Sure. The shot conversion rate for Benin is 4%, the second lowest in 24 teams. Here they are, chance for Egypt! The shot is just too high for Marmouche. But there was contact. Look at it, he cuts inside. This is what he does best. Comes off the back of, I think it's off the back of Atajiku. They take it quickly, they're moving forward. This is what Egypt are really good at. There's the chip, it's a good header! Oh, what a goal! That is just incredible! Yasser, the centre-back! Yalla! Yasser Yalla! A brilliant angled header beating Danjanu. There is nothing in the world that any goalkeeper can do about that. Top quality from Egypt. With a short corner with Fatou. It's brought back. That's the delivery that comes in. Look at that header. Atia with the assist. Yasser with that angled header. Looping over the top. Skims the post and hits the back of the net. Absolutely sublime. You won't see better than that, Amanda.
Yep. Top build-up, top bin, all around. Great variation from the Egyptians, going for a short corner this time around. And to be honest, Yasser still had so much to do from that cross, just dropping a little bit to provide himself some space, but also angling his body enough just to cushion and tuck the ball in.
Incredible 6 caps, and that's his first goal for Egypt. The player, the centre-back born in Mansoura, the former Zamalek and Smuha player. What a time to score a goal for the 7-time champions. But wait, just wait, because we've seen it before. We know that we might see it again. A thriller here in Agadir. Penultimate match still be played here. Of course, Egypt, if they do win this game, then they will be staying and playing another match here in Agadir. If Benin win, they will be playing here, of course, against either Burkina Faso or Côte d'Ivoire. They play tomorrow. Through ball, denied. Julia Oletan has been constantly trying to break open that defense with his passing. Zizou picks it up at the back. And over on that left-hand side, Fatou, who's been brilliant since he came on to replace Hamdi. Marshalling like a maestro in that left-hand corner. But you can't give the ball away like that. And Ashaw comes to the rescue and helps do a little bit of cover. I think I was cursed at that point.
Commentator's curse.
Well, no, I mean, you know, it comes at the right game, isn't it? You know, for talking about mummies in Egypt. I'm not going to go any further than that. I stopped there. It's just not on. Where are you taking me with this? Here we go. There's the throw-in. Ururu. Long throw. Takes a bounce. Egypt allow it to bounce. It's been picked up here. This is dangerous. This is dangerous for Egypt on the attack. There's the through ball. Look at that. Oh, a chance to try and go and pick that up, but Zizou can't get that. And excellent defensive work. And again, you can see what Imran Hassan has to offer. Has played in Egypt, so he knows exactly what he's coming up against today.
Yeah, 100%. But for me, it's just that final touch from Mo Salah. The second incident, of course, the handball contest still going on from the referee in Benin.
Have to be careful there. There's the complaints coming in, and Tiljani picking up a yellow card because he's, as you said, calling and quite being quite vocal in the way that he's saying that was handball. Don't see a hand on that. Anyway, it's nothing happened, and the referee just dished out a yellow card. We've got 4 more minutes left. The challenge, a bit feisty, need to calm things down a little bit. You know, there's nothing like a pressure cooker situation when you're in the commentary box, but on the pitch, you know, you got to deal with it, and it's not that easy. When the temperature's rising, you've got to keep a cool head.
Yeah.
These players have got to keep a cool head now. Benin have done a brilliant job so far. There's still plenty of football to be played. Got another half. Possession for Benin. Down this left-hand side they go with Verdon. And back to Tiljani. Over to the right side they go. Keeps the ball alive. Nicely played by Dossou. Tries to get past Zizou over on that right side. Dossou picks it up once again. Oh, he tries to sneak between Rabia and Ashur, unsuccessfully on that occasion, but they just coolly collect and deal with it. Taking it all in their stride. From the back, here is Tiljani, the Verdon player based in Switzerland. Oh, that's a dangerous ball there. Tessalimi. And the attempt at a cross gets blocked by Hani. Long throw coming their way. Junior Oletan, former Grenoble player playing in Ligue 2 in France, in the Alps. There's the long throw. It's gone very long. Will he get the ball back? The answer to that is no. Mo Salah just intercepting and clearing. 2 minutes left in this first half. Gernot Rohr. Taking Gabon into the quarterfinals previously as head coach. He'd love to take Benin there as well. Former coach of Nigeria as well. There's the lofted ball going over the top. And just getting there first, making sure that they win those challenges, which is what it's all about now, isn't it, Amanda?
Yep. This is the stage where all those physical duels, the ground duels, need to be really contested.
Beautifully done. Zizou picking the ball up from Marmoush. Mo Salah's moving up. Ashur's there as well. It's been picked up by Marmoush. Marmoush on the edge of the penalty box, using the players who are coming up behind him intelligently. And just calmly keeping themselves controlled in this position. A loss of possession over on that far side and a little bit of frustration there, as you can see it from Hossam Hassan.
Yeah, Egypt have really been found guilty for giving the
There you
ball
go.
cheaply.
That was the call of handball. Oh, that is so close and skimming off the arm of Ashur. But you can see that Pierre Acho, he's not batting an eyelid. He was in close proximity, and he's made some big decisions tonight. He's had to make some big decisions. The referee from Gabon, long through ball again, danger. Junior Oletan trying to deal with Fati doing really well. Fatou just sends it up. There's a chance for Marmoush to try and go towards Verdon, and successfully. Roche over to the left-hand side if he needs to make the pass. Oh, danger. Mo Salah's so quick that he can just get in there. He's as quick as the cheetahs.
Yeah, that front press is quite lethal from the Egyptians.
Well, it comes right over to Johan Roche. Does really well. Very well indeed. Tessalini dispossessed. 1 minute about a time in this first half of extra time. That's a long high ball. The goalkeeper's going to come out for that, Danjanu. Not an issue for him. But they'll look for quick transition. They don't want to mess around. Marcel Danjanu. Johan Roche tries to thread the ball through to try and find that man Dosu. And again, strong defensive work. Yasser, winner of score of that goal. The second goal that puts Egypt ahead. Marmouche with that touch, not the right one. You saw that he was being closely monitored there by Tiljani. And that's the end of the first half of extra time. Look at these players. Some of them down on the ground, absolutely exhausted. Yasser is just drained. And everybody's trying to keep it together, of course. But, you know, this is 105 minutes plus all of the added minutes of, you know, that's been thrown onto the pile, making it quite a complicated affair. But a goal that's been scored in the first half of extra time, scored by Ahmed Yasser. And what a brilliant goal it was. It's Egypt 2, Benin 1. El Shenawi, Yasser, all of these players again, the communication, you know, getting together, they got to go again. Let's have a look at the at this call for handball. I don't think it touched his arm. I saw it from, look at this. I don't think it touched. It skims his hair, but he moves his arm away. I think that's, for me, that's not handball.
Yeah, and I think even if there was, it just grazes the shoulder more than anything.
Yeah, and I think that that's the right call because he was so adamant that, you know, he became a little bit obsessed with his idea. And I think the referee, if you make that call, you know, and if you're close by and you see it, then fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think that Tiljani deserves that yellow card because, you know, it was constant, you know, nagging of the referee. They don't like that.
Yep, 100%. I think referee Pierre Archer from Gabon has really done an outstanding job just in terms of making sure that the game flows very smoothly, even if there are fouls, quickly manages the situations. The emotional control as well, I thought he's been exceptional, very close to the action and some of the most important talking points.
Now, what happens now, Amanda, for you in terms of tactics for Egypt and tactics for Benin, starting with Egypt?
I think for Egypt, they are very susceptible to errors. That is their back four. I wouldn't really want to toy around with ball possession in my own half. But of course, try and put much more pressure. The only way to force pressure is for you to attack. For Benin, they've been doing all the hard work, winning all the balls in that midfield. The turnovers, they're making sure they transition very quickly. Now it's just about time to find what is clicking or what is missing in front of goal.
Matteo Ahlinvi of Arsenal, Tula in Russia is about to come on. And we've also got Gislen Ahudu who's coming on as well. Hassan goes off. It's been great, Hassan. He's been solid indeed. And working so hard for Benin, of course. Johan Roche is the player who comes off for Matteo Ahlinvi. Fresh legs, 2 players. That's their 5 that they've managed to, the 5 subs that they've made. But two players with fresh legs coming on at this time is not a bad option. Guerrero knows this, you know, he knows the score. he knows the scenario. He's experienced this. 4th AFCON for the German tactician. He'll know that these two players need to make an impact, and they need to try and take advantage and help restore parity, or try and help them get a win from this.
Yeah, absolutely. For the players coming in, they need to make sure they give the immediate impact. But of course, the timing of the subs have been something that's very crucial at this competition.
Very much so. Marmoush putting pressure on the back line. Verdon back to his goalkeeper. Oh, that was careful. That was dangerous. That was Mo Salah who could have pounced on that, but they pick up possession at the back and they work their magic once again. Atajiku. Johnny trying to thread the ball through. That's well, slightly overcooked there from Dosu to try and just thread that ball through to his teammate. Absolutely throttled it, didn't he, as it flew past Fotu.
Yeah, I think the confidence is really starting to show from Benin, bypassing that high press from the Egyptians with so much ease and just in control, showing great composure. But of course, once they get into the opposition's half, they're showing up and receiving in between the lines.
Atia just making the block, but the ball does fall back to the feet of Atajiku. Long ball going over the chop. This is where it could be quite dangerous. Dealt with at the back. Yasser coming to the rescue. Threaded through. There's a chance for them. He's been knocked off his feet. The referee says no. There's no yellow card. That will be a yellow card. That's quite dangerous, that is. And that's going to be a straight yellow for Atajiku. He's a very physical player. There's no doubt about it. We've seen him play. He throws himself into the challenges. He's a big burly guy, but fact is that you've got to be a little bit careful. And although he didn't really make much contact with Zizou, who luckily evaded those outstretched legs, it could have been quite nasty.
Yep, a dangerous tackle from Majiku. Goes in with both feet, starts showing no intention to win the ball, and very late, a very clumsy tackle. And he knows he shouldn't be doing that.
The winner of this clash will take on the winner of Côte d'Ivoire, the defending champions from the last edition, and Burkina Faso. The Stallions of Burkina Faso, very strong. Tapsoba and co. eagerly awaiting that round of 16 clash that will take place in Marrakesh tomorrow. And the winner of that clash will take on the winner of this one on the 10th of January here in Agadir, here at the Fortress at the Grand Stade d'Agadir. As I mentioned, on occasions in the shadows of the high Atlas Mountains. It just paints a nice picture. That's all I'm going for.
It sounds very poetic.
This is where we are. There's the delivery there, sent forward by Verdon. And the defence, a little bit tighter, aren't they, Egypt at the moment? They're being a little bit more vigilant.
Yeah.
Trying to just not allow players to sneak away. And they're not biting too much, are they? You know, and just staying in position. And just trying to keep that shape at the back.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. 10 more minutes of extra time to be played here in Agadir. And Benin chasing a goal. And putting a lot of pressure on Egypt. It's been picked up. Oh, he's just been knocked off his feet. That will be a very well-positioned free kick here. And he's been impressive, Tessalimi, since he came on. He's been effective, Olatunji Tessalimi. And second cap playing for his country, the former Ayema FC player. He's not scared of going on a little bit of a wander.
Yep, quick acceleration in between two markers. Shaw, I thought, had no business really trying to go with the shoulder challenge. There's so many more bodies in front of him. He could have just really tried to jock the marker.
And the Benin fans hoping that the juju will work here today. Keen to make an impact, keen to try and find themselves that equaliser. El Shenoui, look, we've got players lying on the ground. They're desperate to try and stop this. Of course, it's going to happen. The deceiving low drive can sometimes get in the way. So block the light, stop them from trying to get that shot on target, but Benin will be motivated to try and deliver. Such an important moment this is. Can they strike? Can they get their shot in on goal? Atia, sacrifice, they've taken the touch, there's a shot! It takes a deflection and goes out for a corner. Well, that was it. That was the chance that they wanted to have. Tijani's the player. And came straight off Marmouche, in fact, but apparently not.
Benin just really trying to do something different, something new, of which I honestly thought that a player like Olitan, that's his territory. He's got so much power in his boots. He could have really just really gone direct and forced the goalkeeper for a save.
Listen, it's not the time to, try and be fancy, right?
Exactly.
Don't wear your fancy pants at this time of the day. You got 8 minutes left to play. You want to try and get a score, right? You want to get a goal. Right, Amanda?
100%.
Ball goes out, throw in. Uru using the defenders as they try and create something. It goes over the top. Again, that's just a wasted opportunity to Tisalimi. Now Egypt will just take their time in every single thing that they do now. Because they know that 7 minutes from now, they'll be watching the referee, hoping that he'll be blowing the whistle to offer Egypt their place